Okay, our first Advent candle is lighted for faith, and I know next Sunday is hope, but for me, faith and hope go together. The scripture, faith is what? The substance of things hoped for. So hope is a part of the formula. And someone said to me last week, I think our world has lost hope. So I pondered those words. And I know how that feels, and I'm suspecting some of you do too. Have you ever had at least one moment where you felt you were without hope? Oh, good. A few honest people back here on the bright side. So let us bless ourselves, because if we are the light of the world, even if we have moments of feeling the hopelessness, the light of the world consciousness opens up to hope, even when we think we cannot. So let's explore that idea a little bit more. We're talking today about resilience of the heart. And I'd like to share a story with you that I thought this quote fit really, really well. This is Stephen Levine, and he's the author of the book we'll be starting in our book group in December. He said, "Don't get beached in the ordinary mind." That's like saying, don't get beached in the valley of the shadow of death. Don't build a house there. Don't plant a garden in the valley of the shadow. So don't get beached in ordinary mind. You have to be meta-rational. You know, we talk here about metaphysics and looking at the metaphysical meaning of things. Well, Stephen Levine invites us to be meta-rational, to keep your reason, to open your ordinary mind to the experience of your extraordinary heart. Sometimes we can try to be so rational that we do ourselves a disservice, don't we? We eliminate listening to the extraordinary heart, and we listen to the practical facts, right? I live with a beautiful being of light. But in our early years, after 24 years, but in our early years, David used to say to me when I would say, I have a feeling that this is going to unfold this particular way. And he would actually say to me, well, what are your facts? Now that is left brain speaking to right brain. Because my response would be, you just have to know I have a feeling. Well, how do you know? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? So sometimes we get beached in ordinary mind, and the good news is he doesn't ask me that anymore. So I'm inviting us today, if we've gotten stuck in ordinary mind, looking at the facts, listening to the reports of what it is and what it's going to be, especially the reports of how bad it is and how bad it's going to be, we want to lift ourselves up into extraordinary heart. Is that okay? So, a few weeks ago, and this is continuing every night, but that's okay, I wake up about 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I just go with it now. I get up and do my yoga stretches, I do my silence, I read my books, because the energy is so high, I can't go back to sleep, so I might as well wake up. But a few weeks ago, at that 3 a.m. bell that went off in my head, I was trapped and beached in ordinary mind. I was looking at the facts of how confused our world has become, and how many issues need to be attended to, and how in the world are we going to do it all, and what's it going to be like, and what are we supposed to do, and what am I supposed to do, and what's this church supposed to do, and how's it all going to unfold? And I said, I know, I'll go on Facebook. See who else is up at 3 a.m. And the first person that came up is a Unity minister named Ed Conrad. David and I spoke in his church many times out in Colorado. And he had posted this picture on Facebook. the Basilica of the Sacred Heart in Paris. I haven't been to Paris yet. I would go just to see that. It's extraordinary. And he said, when you are struggling with the events of the world, do a kindness for yourself. Begin to breathe as if you're breathing from your heart. And as you breathe from the heart, open your arms wide like this picture. So it's a good thing David didn't see me at 3 a.m. because what I was doing was this. In my bed. Breathing from my heart. He would have gotten it. So breathing from the heart and opening the heart. And so he says, if you can do this safely wherever you are. So I don't know if you could do it in the grocery store or the bank. But maybe it's a little bit more easier to do when you're by yourself. But I invite you to try it because there's something powerful about being vulnerable to open your heart, wide open.
In the grocery store or someplace where you can visualize.
Yes.
You visualize and that will do.
That will do. So, if you can safely do it right now, spread your arms, spread your wings, open your heart. Yeah, that's the way. Oh, we know how to do it! Look! Yeah. We caught a fish this long. Yeah. So, the idea of 3 a.m., if you are being awakened like I am, and you're doing your spiritual practice, you might want to add this to it. Or, literally, if you are in the grocery store, or even you just have a moment. Because for the last few weeks, people have called, people have emailed. There is weeping, there is sadness, there is angst, there is uncertainty. So whatever our spiritual practice is, do you think it's a good time to be doing it? Oh, yeah. So this is one of the ways we do that, energetically or literally. Open our hearts. Like this picture, the sacred heart. So let's keep our hearts open as we watch this little 4-minute video about what's going on in North Dakota, just one of the worrisome or transformative events in our world right now. Is that as big as it's going to get? Okay. You know what? Let's skip that. Let's just skip it. Let's skip it.
We can make it bigger.
What? Does everybody know what's going on in North Dakota? It's too small, darling.
Well, I mean, I can
Oh, there it is. Yay! Paula, can you turn the lights on, about the river through which the pipeline is scheduled to be built. And you can turn the lights back on. And the water protectors are from many Native American nations gathering there. There's thousands of people. And this is one event in our world right now that is upsetting to many people because this country has a long, long history of doing shameful things to the indigenous people. So let's take a deep breath from that. So in the treaty that they're operating under from the 1800s, this is their land. This is that they were not given, they do not feel they were given the opportunity to divert that pipeline from their land. It was in fact diverted from another part of North Dakota, from another community who said, not on our land, not with our water. And so where did they put it? They shifted it to the Native American land. That is a familiar story. It's gone on way too much. This is one story on our planet where human beings are being asked to do the right thing, to do the most kind thing for our species and for our earth and for the waters. It's one story. It's captured the imagination of many people. It's captured the hearts of many people. There's a lot of prayer going on and a lot of people letting their Congress people know and the president know and the future president-elect that this is no longer acceptable. Some of the people who were arrested were put in dog kennels. So my dad used to tell me in North Carolina when he was growing up that there were signs on the door that would say no Indians and no dogs. That is a dreadfully shameful event that these people were, some of them were kept in dog kennels. So let's take a deep breath. What is ours to do in these moments when we don't know what to do? What is ours to do when a lot of us are saying, what can I do? So what we want to do is keep our hearts open. We want to keep our minds open to doing the right thing and making the right decision. So this is the statement that Unity Worldwide Ministries has put out. It's about the Standing Rock protest in North Dakota, but this could be applied to anything that we're holding in prayer, any world event, any upsetting circumstance. So I ask you to listen to it with that consciousness. Unity Worldwide Ministries holds all involved in the Dakota pipeline situation in prayer. Unity recognizes the divine presence inherent in all people. When we choose to focus upon it and become receptive to it, this presence expresses through each of us an ultimate wisdom, unlimited compassion, unfailing strength, and impeccable right action. I love that. Impeccable right action. Thus, our entire world benefits. We pray all people whose minds, hearts, and hands are entwined and embroiled in this place of strife and opposition in North Dakota or anywhere, that all people who stand and watch the world over will pause and touch their inner sacred presence so the higher, more harmonious solutions can be made known. There is a divine path forward that is honoring and peaceful for all. May we be open to the sacred power within us to heal, guide, unite, and demonstrate the unlimited possibilities for good in the world when people are willing to be a channel for this wisdom. And if you want to say amen to that, amen. So I personally feel glad to be a part of a Unity Worldwide movement that can put out a statement like that. But we apply it to North Dakota, we apply it to all the world events everywhere. That there are peaceful, wise, remarkably positive solutions if we keep our hearts open to hearing. We have eyes to see and ears to hear what they are. Right?
Yes.
They're still out there. Okay, so-called resilience from the heart, the power to thrive in life's extremes. He asked this important question. We might ponder this question. Is it possible to live each day in a resilient frame of mind that softens the impact of dramatic change?
Yes, it's possible.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, now I can do the rest of my talk. So let's all answer that within our own hearts. Is it possible to live each day in a resilient frame of mind so that whatever dramatic event is happening, whatever dramatic change is happening, that we keep our hearts open, that we can soften the impact of these events and these changes? So, are we going to decide it's possible? Because we can't move forward with hope if we don't believe it's possible. Okay. So, here's the idea. We've been studying it in You Are the Placebo book. We study it in all of Unity teachings, and it's basically this. The life-depleting emotions that we may all feel from time to time, things like hate, jealousy, rage. These emotions send out a signal. The heart sends a signal to the brain that mirrors our irregular, chaotic feelings. And then we go into fight or flight. Have we ever experienced that?
Yes.
So knowing that, because we're not shaming ourselves for having those feelings. But when we have those feelings, it's a great practice to move more quickly in transforming those feelings. Otherwise, we're sending so many stress hormones through our bodies that we're in constant fight or flight. We're in constant stress, ready to react rather than wisely respond to what's happening. So, what? I'm stressing you out talking about it. Okay. So let's go to the pot. So we create rejuvenating emotions. How do we do that? It's so simple. We go into appreciation, gratitude. What week are we in? Thanksgiving week. It's so simple. So I may be feeling anger, rage even. I may be listening to the news way too much. I may be so upset. I have a practice. That's my choice point. I can choose to do the practice or not. Find something to be grateful for. Somebody tell me what you're grateful for right now. It should be on the tip of our tongues. Yeah. The three children said it. The children said it. So we go into feelings of appreciation, care, gratitude, compassion. Yesterday I was on my back deck and not one, not two, not three, but 4 kingfishers doing flight lessons on the little lake. I'm watching them on the deck. I said, nobody else is seeing this but me. This is incredible. I'm so grateful. So we go into the gratitude, and that sends signals from the heart to the brain to what? Be harmonized, to be in balance, to be in alignment. And you know how it feels in your body when you're there. You know how it feels when you're not. So in the presence of this harmonized signal, the balance, the alignment, the centeredness, the mindfulness, that's when we're sending another kind of signal out into the world. There's no reason for fight or flight. As a matter of fact, we become very present to hearing or seeing what is the next right and appropriate action. It's amazing. You and I are created to do that. So quick coherence out of heart math. You've probably read the books about heart math. This is the basic heart coherence exercise. It's basically what we just did. We focus on our hearts. Think about this heart area. Oftentimes when we're in struggle, it looks like this. Right?
Yeah.
What we want to do is this. Focus on the heart. Breathe as if we're breathing from the heart. It's so simple. Breathe as if you're breathing from the heart. You activate a rejuvenating feeling simply by thinking of something that you appreciate. Think of something right now that you appreciate. I've still got pecan pie in the refrigerator. Think about something you appreciate. The leaves this year, the change of color. Think it's more vibrant this year. Think of something that you appreciate. And then breathe into that feeling and embrace it again and again and again. And you know what happens? The gratitude list gets longer and longer. You enjoy it. You think, this is a good exercise. I think I'll keep it up. What else am I grateful for? It's as simple as that. Because here's the deal. I may be wrong. Sometimes I am intuitive, psychic, aware. Sometimes I'm not. I may be wrong about this. But it seems that we're going to have more and more opportunities coming up, more and more, to do our spiritual practice and transform the chaotic energy that's moving through our world. Absolutely. So if we know that, then why not have at the ready some of these simple exercises? Somebody said to me, well, I'll just give it to Jesus. And that's great. That's great. He's holding a lot. But let me tell you what that means to me in my metaphysical interpretation. I give it over to the most high consciousness that Jesus represented. That most high consciousness lives in me. If I'm in a struggle at 3 a.m., I'm giving that over to the most high consciousness. Cease the struggle and open to knowing. Next right step. I give it over to the most high consciousness. Greg Braden says this, the quantum bridge is between all that is possible in our minds and our hearts and what becomes real in the world. Ooh, that quantum bridge. And as Unity teaches, hell and heaven are not geographical places. It's not a place where you can get your mail. Heaven and hell are states of consciousness that we create with our thinking and our beliefs. The quantum bridge is between all that's possible. Just think about that. All the possibilities that exist for us as a species and as quantum beings. In our hearts and minds, that's what becomes real in the world. So where this applies to me is I have to pay attention to the scenarios I'm rolling around in my mind about how bad it could get. What I want to be rolling around in my heart and mind is how good it can be in the midst of huge shift. Amen. Years ago in my workshops, I'm talking 30, 35 years ago, I would say, things are coming accelerated and there are going to be big shifts coming. Big shifts are coming way off in the future somewhere. We're here in the midst of the shifts, right? That quantum bridge, what do you want to be creating? So the force field, the presence, the great net that links us to one another, our world and our greater presence. There's a single organ in our bodies designed to sense and communicate with that field. We are the greatest created technology systems ever. We have been created to connect with this field and bring the information through to this dimension. Come on, you're amazing. Turn to somebody and say, you're amazing. You're amazing. So Scott Peck will end with this. Scott Peck said, for the reality is that there can be no vulnerability. I think that's supposed to be without risk. Yeah. So read that. For the reality is that there can be no vulnerability without risk. And there can be no community without vulnerability. How many know that? And there can be no peace and ultimately no life without community. How important is community? It's everything. So let's take a deep breath. Sometimes we revisit feelings that we've had before, and sometimes there are feelings we think, I'm never going to have to feel that again. I'm done. I did that. I'm not going to have to feel that again. Recently, years ago, I had this experience where there was a shooting in Atlanta, and my niece was in that office building. I was trying to get hold of her, and she was okay, and everything turned out all right there. But for some people, they left their bodies that day. They were killed that day. And I remember sitting on the bed in Ashland, Oregon, where we were living at the time, and I just began to weep. And it was the first time that I realized I know why Jesus wept. I know why Jesus wept. And so I began to weep, and I said, David, I quit. Everything we've done, everything we've taught, everything I've been about in my ministry since 1979, none of it's making any difference. I quit. And he got out the calendar and he said, how much time do I need to block out? And I said, you don't understand, I quit. And he said, really? A week? 2 weeks? I said, no, I quit. Done. Boom. And then the phone rang. And I answered it. Hello? Because I quit. And the voice, because, when I haven't quit, y'all know it's, hello? This voice said, you won't remember me. I met you in David and Hemet, California, of all places. And my husband and I came to you with our 2 children, and y'all did prayer and counseling and healing work with us. They were on drugs, quitting high school. I'm calling to tell you, my marriage is back and healthy again. My children are back in high school. They're not on drugs anymore. So I've just been meaning to call you for the last year and tell you, please don't ever quit. Now don't tell me there's not a net of connection, an energy, a field of which we're all a part, that we will get these signs and signals. And I want to say to you this morning, because of the calls and emails I'm getting, please don't quit. Many of us have felt that quitting kind of energy these past few weeks. Please don't quit. We're needed now more than ever to be the light of the world. With what's going on in the world, I have revisited that feeling. That feeling is in all of us. I've revisited that feeling of none of it's helping, none of it's making a difference. I just feel like I want to quit. And I know I'm not alone. So I'm saying to all of us this morning, me included, please don't quit. Please remember that you are a part of a regenerative spirit that is transforming and healing this world. And sometimes the healing looks really, really scary and painful. But as we started with Pima Chodron this morning, everything is meant to be the path. So please don't quit. So I ask you to touch your own heart. Breathe from that heart space and say to yourself right now, please don't quit. Please don't quit. That is a message from Holy Spirit right now. Please don't quit. Now turn to somebody and say, you are amazing.